Welcome to the social science class, children. And today we are going to start with a new lesson, that is Greenland. To understand this chapter, Greenland, the name itself says it's a Greenland, but actually it is not green. So to study about this chapter, Greenland, first of all we should know about our Earth. So when we talk about our Earth, we know that our Earth is divided into the different latitudes and the zones. The 5 main latitudes of the Earth are 0 degree equator, 23.5 degree north Tropic of Cancer, 66.5 degree north is our Arctic Circle. Similarly, when we come to the southern hemisphere, we know that 23.5 degree south, that is Tropic of Capricorn, 66.5 degree, that is your Tropic here, Antarctic Circle. And when we talk about the Earth, we know that our Earth is divided into 3 zones. What are those zones? The area which lies between the 0 degree to 23.5 degree north is a torrid zone. Yes, it is a torrid zone, and the area which lies between the 23.5 degree and the 66.5 degree north is a temperate. And finally, the area which lies between the 66.5 degree till the North Pole. The 2 endpoints of the Earth are the North Pole and the South Pole. So this 90 degree North Pole, this area is known by the different names. What are those different names? It is called by frigid zone, polar zone, or the tundra zone. Why it is called polar zone? Because they are near the poles. Frigid zone because the whole area is covered with the ice. Then when we talk about this area, similarly here also 0 to 23.5 degrees south is the torrid zone here, and similarly 23.5 degree to 66.5 degree we have this temperate zone, and finally we have the frigid zone or the Antarctic Circle in the southern hemisphere. So this is about the zones or the division of the zones on the Earth. Now we will talk about the Greenland. So as through the Earth diagram, I have already explained you about the tundra zone which lie between the 66.5 degree north to the 90 degree poles. So this tundra region, as it is written there also, and it is known by the different zones. What are those zones? They are obviously frigid zone, polar region, or we can call it as tundra region too. And Greenland is a territory of Denmark and lies in this region. So let us know about the location of the Greenland. So children, most part of the Greenland lies to the north of the Arctic Circle. Which part? Towards the north. Yes. The nearest continent to the Greenland we see is the North America. It lies towards the northeast of North America, towards the northern east of the North America, and definitely Greenland is only 650 kilometers away from the North Pole, and it is the largest island in the world. Yes, many times in GK also we come to know that Greenland is the largest island in the world. Fine. The Baffin Bay and the Davis Strait separate Greenland from the northern islands of Canada. So now let us talk about the relief features. So when we talk about the relief features of Greenland, we know that the Greenland has a mountainous surface. And almost the whole Greenland covered with thick layers of ice. They are called ice caps. This layer is quite thick, and at some places, children, it is about 2 kilometers deep also, and it has an area of about 21.5 lakh square kilometer. The name Greenland, do you know who gave this name? This name was given by the Norway explorer Erik the Red. And why did he give this name? To attract the tourists. That was the main reason. That to attract the tourists and the other people or the settlers from the other countries come to the Greenland and settle themselves there. That was the main purpose of the Norway explorer Erik the Red. Secondly, we can also say that this Greenland, otherwise it looks white. But why does it looks white? It looks white because 80% of its area, 80% of its area remains covered with ice and snow throughout the year. Yes, like in India we have some particular time in the winter, we see that Himachal Pradesh and the other areas have the snowfall and all. But here, when we talk about Greenland, 80% of the area is covered with the total snow. And about two-thirds of its area lies between the Arctic Circle. And this area is the totally frigid, or that's why we call it as polar zone, frigid zone, or the tundra zone. The average thickness of ice cover is about 1500 meters, children. Yes, it is about 1500 meters. And that is why this huge floating of ice that break off and slide into the sea are called icebergs. They keep floating until they melt. That is the main purpose of the icebergs which float. Even you have heard the case of Titanic also, where the ship drowned, sank in the Atlantic Ocean. That is why an iceberg can be very dangerous to the ships crossing the Atlantic Oceans. So, the capital of Greenland is Nuuk. Got that? Like you have studied about the capital of Congo Kinshasa. Yes, Riyadh for the Saudi Arabia. Similarly, the capital of Greenland is Nuuk. That is got there. And when we talk about the climate of the Greenland, we know that the climate of Greenland is extremely cold. Its temperature rarely rises above the freezing point. Yes. Summers are cool and short, whereas winters are long, bitterly cold, dark and gloomy. Chilly winds blow at a high speed of over 150 km per hour, children. Similarly, like we have the climatic conditions in Dras in Jammu and Kashmir. Yes, the climatic conditions in Dras in India, that is Jammu and Kashmir, the same climatic conditions are there in the Greenland. When we talk about the vegetation of the Greenland, as we all know that the temperature cannot grow in the area where the climatic condition is not suitable, means that plants cannot grow when the temperature is below 4 degrees Celsius. The temperature in Greenland remains near or below freezing point. So as a result, trees cannot grow in these climatic conditions. Or we can say that Greenland is a barren land. If it is a barren land, what kind of plants will be there? During short summers, small plants come up which are less than 2 feet in height. Mosses and lichens are the natural vegetation of this region. Wild grasses, shrubs and bushes, blueberries and cranberries. These are the few vegetations which can be seen there. So now let us talk about the animals of the Greenland. A peculiar animal found here in this region, and that is the musk ox. But children, only those animals are found in Greenland which can survive the extremely cold climate, and musk ox is among one of them. And it has a long shaggy coat which almost reaches the ground. The reindeer is the most common animal which is found in this region. Other animals found in this region are Arctic hare, the Arctic fox, Arctic wolf, caribou, snowy owl, seals, walruses, huskies, and the polar bear. The fur of the fox and the polar bear is used for making fur coats, whereas huskies are dog-like animals which are used for what? They are used for the hunting and pulling carts with a wheel called sledges. So this was about the Greenland basic. In this session, about the location we have discussed, relief features we have discussed, climate, vegetation and the animal. Thank you, children.